Okay, let's unpack this. If you're running a small business today, you are uh, probably very aware of the challenge, keeping your customers happy, making them feel heard, especially when they expect, well, instant service, 24/7. Across every channel you can think of, email, phone, chat, social media, they expect you to be right there. Our sources point out just how high that bar is getting. Like
Yeah.
83% of people, they expect immediate engagement when they reach out, and over half just kind of assume you're open around the clock. Meeting that with a small team, a tight budget, it feels almost impossible, right?
It absolutely does. And, this is the reality for most businesses globally. We're talking micro businesses, 1 to 10 employees, small firms, maybe up to 50. They just don't have huge call centers or massive support teams lying around, which leads straight to those pain points we all know. Slow responses. You can't meet that 83% immediate thing. Definitely not the 24/7 demand. And customers increasingly want to use things like social messaging. I think it was, 64% prefer it over calling?
Yeah.
But businesses often lag there. One stat in our sources said 45% take over 5 days to reply on Facebook Messenger.
5 days.
5 days. I mean, that's a huge gap right there.
That customer's probably long gone after 5 days. And it's not just the speed as it is personalization too. Over half of customers, they expect you to know who they are, tailor the chat. But how do you do that efficiently when your data is maybe all over the place or your team's just drowning in basic questions? Scaling quality service, especially when things suddenly get busy, it's tough. Usually means hiring more people, which, small businesses often can't just do.
Exactly. And this is precisely where the insights from your sources really highlight the potential for AI agents, specifically for small businesses. I mean, these tools, they work 24/7. They don't complain. They can instantly answer all those routine questions, which crucially frees up your human staff, lets them handle the complex stuff, the sensitive issues, the relationship building. And the timing is good too because customers are already shifting their behavior. Sources show 51% are okay using bots for immediate help. Nearly 80% find them helpful for simple things. And get this, 62% would actually prefer a chat bot over waiting for a human for quick questions.
Prefer it. Okay.
Yeah, the demand for self-service is definitely there, and AI makes that achievable, even for the smallest business.
So, okay, the problem's clear. The customer need is clear. AI looks like the answer. But are small businesses actually using it yet?
That's a really interesting point the sources dig into, because despite the obvious need, the potential adoption is still pretty early among SMBs, especially compared to the big guys, the enterprises. Only about 16% of small firms use chatbots right now versus maybe 24% of enterprises. And one study, I think from 2025, mentioned in the material, found only 9% of small business owners use AI specifically for customer service tasks, like bots or assistants. And when you think there are, 400 million SMBs globally, that's a huge, largely untapped market. These tools can make a massive difference there.
Okay. So massive opportunity, but it also sounds like there's some pretty big hurdles stopping more people from jumping in. What are those main barriers according to the sources?
Yeah, they point to a few key things. Cost is a big one. Over 55% say that's a major barrier. Then there's just a lack of knowledge, like not really understanding how AI helps customer service. 62% cite that. Data can be tricky too, right? Smaller firms might not have clean, organized data. And something like 77% of organizations generally don't really use their data well for AI models. Then there are trust issues. Quality concerns, the fear that a bot will mess up, give long answers, damage the brand.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Totally. And finally, workforce attitudes can play a part. About 9% of small business owners apparently think AI is a threat. So you might get some internal resistance from the team too.
Those are definitely real, understandable worries for a small business owner who's already got a lot on their plate. But you mentioned something earlier about generative AI, that it's changing things.
Yes. This is where it gets really interesting, and it ties right back to that opportunity. These recent advances in generative AI models, like GPT-4, which powers some of the newer tools, they're really lowering some of those barriers we just talked about dramatically. See, historically, building AI for customer service, it needed complex coding, structured data, technical expertise. But now, tools using generative AI, they can learn from your existing stuff, your FAQs, your website content, even past conversations, just using natural language.
Oh, okay.
Which means Much less technical skill needed, much less effort to set up. It really kind of levels the playing field, makes sophisticated AI much more accessible, more affordable for small businesses.
Okay, that is a crucial shift. So what do these AI agents actually do then? Our sources break them down a bit:
Yeah.
chatbots, voice assistants,
hmm
email tools, agent assistants, these all-in-one platforms.
Yeah.
Let's get into the tech and what they can do.
Absolutely. So AI chatbots, probably the most familiar, right? They handle those text chats on your website, in apps, social media. They use NLU, that's natural language understanding,
Right.
which means they can figure out the intent behind what people type, not just look for keywords.
Right.
One source mentioned good bots can handle up to like 79% of standard questions. They can follow scripts, sure, but the AI helps them pull the right info. And critically, they know when to stop, when it's too complex, too sensitive, and hand it off to a human.
So they handle the easy stuff and they know their limits.
Exactly. And the better ones work across channels. So same AI brain on your website, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, etc. They can also hook into your CRM, your customer database to personalize things. They really shine with those repetitive questions like, where's my order? Or what are your hours? Takes that load off your team. And the things to look at are accuracy, speed, which is instant, obviously, and that containment or deflection rate, how many issues they solve completely on their own. Sources say good ones hit 40–80% deflection.
And that 70% deflection example with generative AI, that sounds pretty powerful.
It is. And generative AI, that's the big change here. It lets the bot generate more natural, fluent responses because it understands your whole knowledge base, not just matching pre-written answers. Intercom's Fin is the good example there, using GPT-4. Chatbots also use machine learning, ML, to get smarter over time, understanding intent, sentiment, and we're seeing more agentic AI too, where the bot can actually do simple things like start a return process in your shop system.
Okay, so moving beyond just talking to actually doing. What about phones? Still huge for lots of small businesses.
Definitely. That's where AI voice assistants come in. They answer calls using speech recognition, figure out what's being said with NLU, and then respond with natural-sounding voices. Think of it like a super smart, automated receptionist, answers calls conversationally, routes them, gives basic info, maybe even handles simple tasks like checking an appointment. Tools like Dialpad AI, they integrate with modern phone systems, offer things like real-time transcription too.
Like a super efficient front desk person who never needs a coffee break and always sounds pleasant.
Pretty much. They handle those simple, repetitive calls incredibly well. Complex stuff still needs a human, obviously, but they can gather info first or maybe suggest switching to chat if that's faster for the issue. Gartner thinks this tech, conversational AI, could cut contact center labor costs globally by like $80 billion by 2026.
Wow.
Yeah. And customers seem increasingly okay with it too. Surveys show people want natural voices. They like the advanced features.
Okay, and email. That's got to be a big-time sink for many businesses. How's AI helping there?
AI email automation. It's like having a super fast email sorter and a draft writer on your team. Tools like Zendesk Intelligent Triage or Freshdesk Freddy Copilot, they use AI to automatically tag incoming emails, billing, support, sales, and prioritize them. Then AI writing assistants can actually draft replies based on your knowledge base, FAQs, or even past emails. Helps with consistency and speed. Intercom found teams using their AI resolved like 11–30% of total support volume through AI, including email.
And faster email replies are always good. I remember seeing that McKinsey stat, something like a 37% reduction in first response times.
That's the one. And 61% of consumers say they'd prefer a fast, accurate AI email reply over waiting ages for a human. It's really useful for things like e-commerce order questions, those high-volume similar emails. Maybe 30–40% can be automated. These tools usually will plug right into your help desk. They use generative AI to make the drafts sound, well, human. You still need a human check, though, for accuracy, especially for tricky or sensitive stuff.
So we've got AI talking to customers, chat, voice, email. What about AI working with the human team?
Yes, that's the AI agent assistants, sometimes called co-pilots. They don't talk to customers directly. Instead, they help your human agents while they're working in real time. So while an agent's chatting or on a call, the AI is kind of listening in, reading along, and suggesting answers, knowledge articles, maybe even pre-written text snippets. Zendesk Agent Workspace, Freshdesk Freddy Copilot, they do this. Customer AI suggests the next best action. They can also automate stuff like summarizing calls afterwards. Dialpad AI does that. It basically just reduces the mental load on agents, helps avoid mistakes, makes sure they find info instantly.
Like having a smart assistant whispering in their ear.
Exactly. And it makes a big difference. Agents using these tools, they resolve issues like 52% faster, handle about 14% more inquiries per hour, and it makes agents happier too. Zendesk found AI Copilot users are 20% more likely to feel empowered because they're spending less time digging for info, more time actually helping people. For a small team, that's huge. Get more done, less burnout.
And finally, the all-in-one platforms. They
Yeah.
try to bring all this together.
Yeah, exactly. Platforms like Zendesk and Freshdesk, they aim to give you a single system, AI baked in across different channels, different agent types, so you get your omni-channel support, chat, email, maybe voice integration, agent assist, all managed from one place with AI helping throughout. Some even try proactive support, using AI to predict issues, or use AI for better analytics, spotting trends. Many are designed with smaller businesses in mind, trying to make the admin side easy, like Zomodesk's Zia, which has AI features you can just toggle on. It's about simplicity and consistency, really, if you want everything managed together.
Okay, that covers the different flavors of AI and customer service. But for a small business, I mean, the bottom line is always impact, ROI. What do the sources say about the actual tangible benefits?
Right, and this is where it gets really compelling for SMBs. The most obvious impact is cost savings and efficiency. AI agents can seriously reduce staffing needs, especially for peak times, maybe up to 68% in some cases, around 51% during normal times, just by handling routine stuff. The cost per contact plummets. Pennies for a bot versus dollars for a human. You get higher throughput too. Human agents work faster, handle more when AI assists them, and that deflection rate we mentioned, that's key. That live person example, 70% deflection. That means 70% fewer queries even reach the human team. Plus, you get 2047 coverage without paying overtime. There was a simple scenario in the sources basically showing how saving maybe $80 in salary by using a $10 K tool leads to, well, very high ROI.
So saving money is clear. But what about customer satisfaction, loyalty? That seems just as important, if not more so.
Absolutely. And AI can boost that significantly too. Faster responses make happier customers. We know that 90% expect immediate help. Having 247 availability, that convenience, meets that demand. AI brings consistency, accuracy, no more getting different answers from different people.
Yeah.
And when it's linked to your CRM, you get that personalization at scale. Makes customers feel seen. We saw that live person example, again, their first contact resolution, FCR, went up from 34% to 44% with the bot. And even more dramatic, their chatbot's Net Promoter Score, NPS, that loyalty metric, it jumped from -25 to +50.
Wow, that is a huge swing just from adding a bot.
Yeah, it shows that when it's done right, AI can seriously build loyalty.
Yeah.
And keeping customers is crucial, right? Over half will switch after just one bad experience. So fast, consistent service helps keep them, protects revenue, maybe even grows it. Now, the sources do add a note of caution, a bad bot. That can definitely hurt satisfaction. So implementation has to be thoughtful.
Right.
Can't just switch it on and walk away.
So when can a small business realistically expect to see this kind of return? Are we talking years down the line, or is it faster?
For the tools aimed at SMBs, the ROI timeline is often surprisingly quick. The upfront cost is usually manageable, subscription-based mostly. You tend to see operational benefits almost immediately, like within 1 to 3 months. Response times drop, backlogs shrink, your team gets breathing room. Break even where the savings match the cost, often within 6 to 12 months, mainly from those labor savings and better retention. There was some KPMG research mentioned suggesting an average ROI of $3.50 to $8 for every $1 spent on customer experience tech, like AI.
That's pretty impressive.
It is. And then you have the longer term, maybe less tangible returns, better NPS, more referrals, stronger brand reputation, higher customer lifetime value.
And to really know if it's working, you need to track the right things, I assume?
Exactly. The sources really stress tracking your KPIs, key performance indicators. You should look for average response time going down sharply. Tickets per agent per day should go up as they get more efficient. First contact resolution, FCR, should improve. CSAT and NPS should trend upwards. You'll also see better operating leverage, meaning your contact volume can go up without needing to hire proportionally more staff. Cost per ticket should decrease. It often leads to a bit of a mindset shift, too. Moving from just counting tickets to focusing on customer outcomes, like customer effort score, how easy was it for the customer to get help? And importantly, employee satisfaction often goes up, too, when the tedious work gets automated.
So it's not just automating for automation's sake. It's about enabling the team, improving the whole customer relationship.
Yeah, it fundamentally changes the work and the service. And as those ROI numbers suggest, the business case for small businesses to at least look at this is really strong.
All right, so we've covered the challenges, the tech, the impact. But how does a small business owner actually wade through all the options and pick the right AI agent for their specific situation? Our sources focus on five main players: Zendesk AI, Freshdesk Freddy AI, Zoho Zia, Intercom Fin, and Dialpad AI.
Yeah, and picking the right one is crucial. These five kind of represent the spectrum you see targeting SMBs. You've got Zendesk, Freshdesk, Zoho. They're more like the full help desk systems with AI built in across channels. Then Intercom, really strong on the chat and messaging side, popular with online businesses, SaaS companies. And Dialpad, which is more focused on voice, unified communications, but with AI features layered on top.
And their suitability really depends on the business size and what they actually need, doesn't it?
Exactly. So for the really micro businesses, maybe 1 to 10 employees, priority is usually low cost, super simple, Freshdesk and Zoho Desk. They have free or very cheap plans, generally easy to get going, good starting points. Dialpad might fit if phone is absolutely everything for them. Zendesk, Intercom, probably a bit too much, too complex, too pricey at that very early stage.
Okay. What about slightly larger small businesses, say 11 to 50 people?
Right, this is where most of these become really relevant. Freshdesk and Zoho are still strong contenders here. Good balance of features, affordable, scale okay into this size. Zendesk starts to become a serious option, especially if workflows are getting a bit more complex, volume is higher, or they need better reporting. Intercom is super popular in this bracket, especially for online-first businesses. SaaS, its chat experience is great, and Fin, their Gen AI bot, is powerful. Dialpad is still a good fit if there's a formal phone team. Potential downsides, maybe Zoho is less ideal if you're not already using other Zoho stuff. Maybe Freshdesk has slightly less advanced configuration than Zendesk, depending on what you need.
And then for those growing small businesses, maybe 51 to 100 employees. Scaling really matters then, right?
Right. Yeah. At that size, they often need more robust features, real scalability. Zendesk is often a top pick here. It has more enterprise-type features, deeper analytics, handles higher volume and complexity well. Freshdesk still scales into this range pretty effectively, too. Intercom remains relevant, especially if growth is driven by online customers and messaging is key. Dialpad becomes a serious thought if phone support volume is really significant, maybe part of a wider unified comm strategy. Zoho. Less common here unless the company is really all in on the Zoho ecosystem already. The choice often comes down to, do you need that deep scalability and feature set like Zendesk? Or prioritize ease of use and maybe stay within an ecosystem like Zoho or Freshdesk?
So with these different options on the table, how does a business owner actually choose? What are the key things to look for based on the sources?
The sources lay out several key criteria. First, channels and use cases. Where do your customers actually contact you? Is it mostly chat, email, phone? Pick a tool that's strong where you need it most. Second, budget and pricing. Obvious, but critical. What's the subscription cost? How does it scale? Per agent, per chat, per feature. Figure out the total cost over maybe 2-3 years. Watch out for hidden add-on costs.
Yeah, those can sneak up on you.
Definitely. Third, ease of implementation and UX. Can you set it up yourself or do you need an expert? Is the admin side easy to navigate? And importantly, what's the customer experience like? Is the chatbot window clean? Do the emails look good? Freshdesk and Intercom often get mentioned for being user-friendly here. Fourth, integrations. Does it play nice with your existing tools, your CRM like HubSpot or Salesforce, your e-commerce store, Shopify, internal chat like Slack? Check for those native integrations first. They're much easier than custom API work. Fifth, AI capabilities. What specific AI features does it actually have? Good NLU, powerful generative AI, useful agent assistance. Does it support the languages you need? How easy is it to train on your business info? Sixth, scalability. Will it grow with you? Are there clear upgrade paths for more volume, more agents? Is the vendor stable, constantly improving the product?
Seventh, customization and control. Can you tweak workflows, brand the interfaces? Does it have an API if you need deeper connections later?
Eighth, vendor support and training. This is huge for SMBs. Do they help you get started? Is there good documentation, a community, responsive support when you hit a snag?
Right.
Ninth, ROI and value. Does the price tag match the expected benefits, the savings, the efficiency, the CS app boost? Use those free trials. Run a small pilot, a proof of concept, a POC, test the deflection rates, see the impact before you sign up. And finally, 10th, peer feedback. Look for case studies, reviews from businesses like yours. See what their real-world experience has been.
That's a really solid checklist.
Yeah.
It sounds like choosing isn't just about ticking off features, but really thinking about your specific business, where it's at, and where it's going.
Absolutely. It's definitely not one size fits all. What's perfect for a tiny online shop might be totally wrong for a growing B2B service with a big phone team. Sometimes, maybe combining a couple of best-in-class tools is the answer. Though, honestly, for simplicity, most SMBs probably prefer one platform if it covers most bases well enough.
Well, this has been a really fascinating deep dive. It's clear AI agents aren't just some future tech anymore. They're practical, they're accessible, especially for small businesses looking to seriously upgrade their customer service. We've looked at the need, the different types of tech chatbots, voice, email, those agent co-pilots, the pretty compelling business impact, the ROI, and then how to navigate choosing between key players like Zendesk, Freshdesk, Zoho, Intercom, and Dialpad.
Yeah, the potential for small businesses to really level up their service quality, to compete with bigger players on service, it's huge with these tools.
So what does this all ultimately mean for you running your business day to day? It seems clear that bringing AI into customer service, it's about way more than just automating tasks or answering questions faster. It really changes the focus for your human team. Think about it. If you offload all those routine, repetitive queries to an AI agent, what does that free up your people to do? They can focus on the really complex problems, build deeper relationships with customers, provide that empathy, that nuanced understanding that, only a human really can. So consider how using AI for the straightforward stuff could transform your team from just sort of processing requests to actually being dedicated to delivering truly exceptional experiences, building that lasting loyalty, that shift in focus maybe, from just task completion to real relationship building. That might just be the most powerful takeaway here.